We have just had the 10.4 update hit in Warpath. It has just gone live, and there are a ton of different things that have been brought to the game and that are being changed about the game with this update. We're going to take a look at the dev war room notes. We are going to go over the main points of discussion, and we're going to break it all down in this video for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back. I hope you are all doing wonderful. Again, like I said in the intro, the 10.4 update just literally went live a few hours ago at the time of recording this in Warpath, and with it has brought a lot of changes. Some of them could arguably be called game-changing, especially when it comes to Theater of Conquest events specifically. We're going to jump in. We're going to take a look at the dev notes. We're going to take a look at the new officers that have been added to the game. But before we jump in and start talking about all of that, if you enjoy this video and want to see more update videos like this in the future, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are not already so you don't miss any future uploads. Let's try to get this video to at least 150 likes. And then at the end of this video, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments. I would love to hear if you guys are excited about some of these changes, if you're looking forward to some of them, if you're not looking forward to some of them, and tell me why. I would be very interested to get different perspectives. All right, now let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the dev notes. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are now in the dev war room with all of the breakdown and the notes on everything that has been added, changed, all of the above with the 10.4 update. There are some very interesting pieces of information in here, and there are also some things that are pretty relevant that you guys have all experienced and know exactly what they are already, such as some of the upcoming events. So we're not going to waste your time talking about those. I'm just going to go through and hit the high points and talk to you about those. All right, so the first and most obvious is going to be the brand new officers that have been added in the 10.4 update. There are two of them. There is an artillery officer that has been added to the game, and there is a fighter plane officer that has been added to the game. The first big change that I want to talk about with the 10.4 update is going to be top tactic. Number one says after the version update, the new top tactic drop pool will be available at a specific time in the military academy. You'll have a 50% chance to receive the featured tactic when you acquire a legendary tactic during top tactic simulations. Number two, if you acquire a legendary tactic in top tactic that isn't the featured one, the next legendary tactic you acquire is guaranteed to be the featured one. Your progress towards guaranteed rewards in top tactic will carry over to the next top tactic event. Number four, once the top tactic event ends, the featured tactic will be added to the universal simulation drop pool and included in the legendary tactic pack. So your takeaway from that needs to be that they are looking to gear up and start pushing the tactics a little bit more. Obviously, they have been relevant since they have been introduced into the game, but this is going to be another way to kind of amplify the focus and the investment that people are making into their tactics. This next one is going to be somewhat of a quality of life improvement, if you will. The quick resource items use, it says number one, use the quick use function to automatically set the number of resource items or rush items as needed. You can still adjust the number manually if you prefer. Number two, you can also use rushes to instantly produce building materials required for building upgrades if you were short on them. So again, it seems just like one of those quality of life changes or features, updates, whatever you want to call it, that is just going to hopefully save everybody just a little bit of time, which, as we know, time is extremely valuable. So this will be a good change. The next one here, which this one is going to be one that I was referring to as potentially game-changing, specifically when it comes to Theater of Conquest events. I know this is going to be very, very welcomed from pretty much every alliance, and that is going to be the changes to the surprise attack feature. Number one says members of an alliance activating surprise attack mode can only use surprise attack airlifts to move into neutral village territories. They receive 2 surprise attack airlift attempts when their alliance activates surprise attack mode and cannot move into neutral village territory if they have no attempts left. That is going to be a massive change. I know for the most part, every alliance, at least at some point in time or another, has used surprise attack It's also been starting to be abused because now they have changed in the past updates. They have changed the buffs that you get from strategic buildings, think like forts, blockhouses, those kinds of things. In Theater of Conquest events, they used to give you damage intensity increase, damage reduction increase, and now they only really offer kind of repute buffs and then some base health regeneration buffs, but no like actual combat buffs. And Surprise Attack did. It gave you some damage intensity buffs. So what alliances would do, as soon as you were able to activate it, they would activate it, even though they were giving up rewards, and even though they were winning, a lot of people would just abuse it essentially for those buffs. And I mean, they were playing within the system that was allowed, so it's not like it's cheating by any means, but it was just basically finding a loophole through the system. And so this is hopefully going to help kind of mitigate that. Also, what happens a lot of times currently, or I should say prior to the 10.4 update, when an alliance would activate Surprise Attack, they could literally jump anywhere at any time on the map, including neutral villages. And where it really became a problem is when an alliance that didn't have Surprise Attack would be trying to build a village or maybe rebuild a CC somewhere at a strategic location. Then the alliance with Surprise Attack would send in a whale or multiple whales, jump in on the build as it was taking place, kill a weak base or kill a already hurt base and then block it. And it was just a whole... It turned into chaos. The idea of Surprise Attack, I like. It continues to promote the fighting within the event, but I'm very much looking forward to this change, and I think it's going to hopefully continue to help promote fighting, but it's not going to be as overpowered of a feature as it currently, or it has been up to this 10.4 update. Number 2, Alliance members cannot move into the territory of a village that is under construction or with construction on hold. This restriction does not apply to villages that belong to their alliance or to alliances under peace treaties with them. So without saying the same thing I just said a few minutes ago, that kind of speaks for itself. It's going to stop people airlifting into villages that are being built or whatever that may be from enemy alliances. Number 3 says Surprise Attack airlift attempts recover by 1 every 12 hours, if not already at maximum. So they're just going to slow down the rate in which you regenerate Surprise Attack airlifts. Also, I think that's going to be good. It's going to force the teams that do use Surprise Attack, it's going to force them to be a little bit more coordinated and strategic with their Surprise Attack airlifts and when they want to use them and where they want to go when they use them. Number 4, once an alliance activates Surprise Attack mode, its members will no longer receive the airlift recovery speed buff. Easy enough. So again, another change. We'll see how that goes. And then number 5, it says the above changes apply to all future conquests and those not yet in the campaign phase. Conquests already in the campaign phase will use the old system until their current round ends. The changes will take effect at the start of their next round. The next change is going to be with Commander Tactic Cast optimizations. Number 1 says you can now drag the tactic icon to cast it. Number 2 says, for attack and debuff tactics, you can now tap on your target to cast without double confirmation. If you prefer the old method, you can switch back in options. The next set of changes have to do with Operation Hegemon optimizations. Number 1 says, commanders will receive limited stat bonuses from their fortified walls on Gold 2 or below battlefields in Operation Hegemon. Each battlefield tier has different fortified wall level restrictions. Number 2 says, new Unwavering Pursuit buff. A, when the capture point difference is significant, the lagging side will receive the Unwavering Pursuit buff. This buff is triggered by the point difference, remaining time, and other factors. It will expire once the point difference is reduced to a certain level. B, this buff provides combat bonuses and a special point boosting effect. So once again, trying to optimize and balance out Operation Hegemon to the best of their ability. So we will see how that continues to take place and kind of shape. The next set of changes are going to have to do with base garrison counterattack, or basically just the intentional aggroing of allies dropping peace treaties. That was already discussed in the 10.3 update. So I'm not going to waste y'all's time or my time covering this. We're going to move on to other optimizations. Underneath other optimizations, this is going to be helpful for those of you especially that run artillery army groups specifically. We've added a group anti-aircraft and a group anti-ground button so you can quickly set all visible anti-tank gun troops in an army group to anti-aircraft or anti-ground. Right now, when an anti-aircraft, when an AA gun or an anti-tank gun goes into AA mode, which then targets the aircraft or the Air Force units that are going to be potentially flying over your artillery army group, for example. Once you start moving that army group, if that ATG is still in anti-aircraft mode, it won't move with the rest of your army group. It just stays stationary. So this is just going to be a simplified quality of life adjustment, so to speak. You can now set any of the anti-tank guns in your group to anti-aircraft mode automatically all at once, and then you can also switch them back to ground mode all at once, so that way they can move in perfect cohesion with the rest of your artillery group. And again, I think that's just going to be a quality of life improvement. It'll make life easier for those of you that run artillery army groups. All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for the 10.4 update. Again, like I said at the beginning, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you have stuck around and made it this far into the video, if you've got access to Discord and are not already in our community Discord server, the link to that is going to be in the description of the video below. Click on that link. It'll take you right into the community server, whether you are a new player, maybe have some more questions, want to learn some more, or if you're a veteran player and just want to come hang out and get to know some more people in the community, it doesn't matter. Absolutely everybody is welcome. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. We'll see you on the next one.